Listen up! Listen up! This is the interview.
There's new interviews on Japanese gaming sites. There's two different sites here. One of them's in light mode, the other's in dark mode. We're gonna read the one in dark mode. This morning about 6.2. Here's the main points, mainly from the Famitsu interview. The story of 6.x will end with a certain event. This will completely change the story, and 7.0 will be based on this. So what happened in the story? We could speculate. It showed Golbez, so I imagine it's gonna have something to do with Golbez, right? So it's gonna show the fiends. It's gonna show the fiends, preferably the Shadow Dragon, which is probably Vitri's sister, right? Yeah, I'm gonna guess that. 6.x will change somewhat from the usual pattern of 0.1 through 3, wrapping up the old storyline, and 0.4 through 5 setting up the next expansion. He says we can expect to start seeing the signs of the direction of 7.0 and 6.5. Man, this is kind of cool because now I kind of know what they're talking about. Before I had no idea, I would skip over this part, but now I'm actually thinking about it, you know what I mean? The word memory in the patch title is linked both to the main story and the Pandaemonium raids. For example, the memories and feelings of the inhabitants of the 13th who have now become monsters, and whether the Warrior of Light and party will reawaken those memories by stepping into their world. With Pandaemonium, he mentions memories you want to seal and forget. Oh, God. Dude, another Shadow Dog, another Shadow Keeper. Oh, God. Another A4. Okay, so what about memory in the main story? Because they love to reuse shit. Okay, that's Square Enix's thing. They come out with something, and then 20 years later, they just reuse it for the next 20 years, okay? So what in the main story haven't they reused yet? I guess we're gonna go to a new shard, that's for sure. The cover of the patch had that guy with the beard, which is probably Laha Bread, you know? And I think it's funny that they gave him a beard, but they can't put a fucking beard in the fucking game. There's beards everywhere, except for the place that we need a fucking beard. Anyway, the weakest of the FF4 fiends will appear first. Okay, so this is, what's his face? The Earth guy. This guy was the weakest. It was this guy, then her, and then this guy. So this guy was the weakest in Final Fantasy IV, but we're not 100% sure if it's the weakest in this lore, right? Regarding the new trial, he confirms it is a part of the MSQ this time. Helped by the fact Savage is releasing 1 week later than this, he says it will not be revealed until the day of the patch who the trial will be against, and whether it will be part of a series. He says the trial is a bit more difficult than usual. Man! This motherfucker always says that. He always says that. The second part of Pandaemonium would dive further into the ancients' way of thinking. One question to watch out for is, what are we trying to seal in the depths of Pandaemonium? Well, so this is technically in the past, right? So whatever it is we're sealing, we succeeded in I don't know. Wait. Maybe it's Bahamut? Oh, wait, no, he hasn't. No, right. Bahamut's an alien. Never mind. Okay, that's right. We're like way in the past. Okay, this is super past. Okay, well then what in super past did we either prevent or escaped? What if it's just as simple as Lucifer? What if it's like the fucking devil? This is supposed to be the 7 hells, right? Oh, it was Greek hell. Oh, Greek hell has Hades. No, I'm not saying it's gonna be Hades. I know Hades is Emmett. I know that shit. But my question is like, what is in Greek mythology, right? The Satan equivalent is Hades because he rules the underworld, right? Well, they kind of can't reuse him. Okay, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no obvious answer. The second Savage tier will be harder than the first, okay? We all knew that. The designers are aware that people are familiar with their level 90 rotations by now. Okay, so that means higher DPS checks, and it made adjustments based on this. At the time of the interview, Yoshida has only playtested normal difficulty, but like the new trial, he believes it is relatively challenging. Based on feedback from the first tier, that some fights, Phoenix, were hard to see. Oh my god. They paid more attention to the visuals and visibility this time. He also implies the new tier will be flashier, since some felt the last one was a bit plain compared to Eden. How did this even pass the playtest? Did they playtest this without using their eyes? Why is there a difficulty increase? Basically, for the second and third raid tier, they want to keep it at like creator level, but typically in the past 2 expansions, they have dropped that creator level a little bit because people are learning the jobs. They're considering people's like learning abilities, right? So the first raid tier, it should be common sense that it would be just a little bit easier because there's new jobs and you only have a month to do it. This game is not for people that play 10 hours a day. This game is for people like that play play a moderate amount. That's their target audience, is a moderate amount. Now, what is a moderate amount? I don't know. If I were to guess, I would say somewhere around 20 to 25 hours a week. That's not a lot. That's not casual either. I think if you devote 20 to 25 hours a week to this game, I would consider that like an average amount. But then again, my opinion on it might not be the best because I play this game all the fucking time. I think that if you really want to learn your job and be a good player, I feel around 20 hours is probably where you want to be, unless you're going to poop socket. Because you have to remember, you're also not going to play this game every day, right? You know, let's just say you play this game 4 times a week. If you're going to play at least 5 hours per setting, that's 20 hours. I don't think that's too crazy. So yeah, so that's why I think the first tier should be slightly easier to give people a chance to learn their jobs. And also think about it this way, right? What if they ruin your job? How many people main Paladin, at the start of this expansion, actually didn't play Paladin in the raid tier? See what I mean? So then you had to learn another job. I want to just say again, man, based on feedback from the first raid tier, some fights like Phoenix were hard to see. Why did it even get to the feedback part? Like the dev team should have just looked at orange on top of orange on top of orange and just been like, hey, you know what? Maybe they don't like orange as much as we think that they do. You know, maybe we should at least remove 2 of these oranges. And then they're like, nah. Let's put all the oranges in and bait people into using G-Shade. That way we can fucking ban them from mods. And that's why that everything is orange in Phoenix. For Sephiroth Unreal, the middle phase will be a weak point for many groups. The ads? If you don't pay attention to the order of debuffs, heals, and then damaging the enemy, the tank can melt at an incredible rate. Regarding the planned changes to Dragoon and Astrologian, the changes shouldn't be simply compared to Summoner. Instead, he mentions Ninja. The changes to that job during 5.x were considered a major overhaul by the devs, though the play feel was still similar. They made the mudras on the GCD, right? Was that patch? Well, but that's good though. Yo, jumps on GCDs. I mean, but would that be bad though, to put a jump on a GCD? What if a jump is on a GCD and you don't have to do Mirage Dive? Would you like that better? Wait, it would break the GCD loop Dragoon. Well, dude. There's always somebody, dude. There's always somebody with this dumb fucking mentality. If they put the jump on a GCD, then obviously they're gonna change the rotation. This isn't Gunbreaker, okay? They just don't add GCDs in, but keep your burst window the same length. Come on, man. Like, I hate it when people have that mentality. If they do this, then it'll make the current loop bad. Well, obviously, if they do the change, then you're not going to do the fucking current loop, you fucking moron. Okay, anyway, regarding Dragoon, the discussions have been about reducing the number of actions that needed to be used by merging actions. Okay, that's good. Though he says he would like to avoid changing what Dragoon has to do as much as possible. Okay, that's good. For Astrologian, the changes are related to the cards. Oh, God fucking bless. God bless, dude. They changed these fucking cards every single expansion, man. They have no idea. Make the cards this. Make the cards that. Wrong! Make the cards do this! They have no fucking idea. It is difficult to decide on adjustments to the cards since there are voices for and against the RNG element. I mean, he's right. You know, for all you Dragoons out there that are worried they're going to fuck your job up, I mean, I feel like they did a pretty good job with Ninja. I think they're only going to make Dragoon better. The changes to direct hit and critical hits will be explained at length in the 6.2 Part 2 live letter. Okay, good. On the new variant dungeons, most dungeons in 14 are designed to be linear since a multiplayer game veteran will eventually decide on a most optimal route through a non-linear dungeon, which could also cause friction with new players. Okay, this is good. Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true. There will be ways of changing things on the routes through the variant dungeons, such as pressing a switch to change the next boss's mechanics. Wow, but it might not always be a good idea to press the switch. By playing multiple times, you can collect information on the lore of the dungeon, and this can include hints to hidden routes. There are 2 bosses per route. Ooh, okay. This seems very interesting to me. I'm thinking about it from a streamer standpoint, right? So like during these dungeons, let's say I do this dungeon with Twitch chat, right? Well, we could put a vote on which route we want to do. Even if it's the shit route, we could still do it. You know what I mean? That could be really fun. I just like that they're trying to be creative with this shit. There will be unique variant actions in the dungeons, such as recovering HP or increasing defenses. This can help to make up for a missing roll, since the normal difficulty version can have any party composition. Okay, here's my issue with this. I think this is okay. I'm not the biggest fan of variant actions, Boja actions. I understand that they can be fun. I understand people like that shit. I think that if they're done right, it's okay, but I think it's very hard to not break shit. So as long as these variant actions are, for lack of a better way to explain it, I guess fair, I think it'll be okay. But once you start getting shit like, just some of the Boja actions are just so fucking crazy, man. As long as they don't add those really crazy Boja actions, I think it'll be okay. All right, so for the higher difficulty Criterion dungeons via PF, you can enter with any composition, okay, but the duty finder will match you with one tank, one healer, one melee, one fizz or magical range. The difficulty level is too high for the savage version, so there won't be matching for that. Holy shit. So there's normal, extreme, and savage. Okay, so the extreme, you can use the duty finder, but the savage, you can't. Okay. I do think I'll enjoy a variant dungeon once. I'll probably do it like all the routes. They just said there's 2 bosses per route, but we don't have many routes, right? So I'll probably do the route once. So Island Sanctuary doesn't have a storyline attached to it other than some simple quests leading player to the island. So the weather will change on the island, but it will not snow since it is located in an area of the world that doesn't snow. Most Island Sanctuary will not connect to the rest of the game's systems, being able to get tokens to exchange for items outside the island, but when you explore to the limit, you will find some elements that connect to the outside world. Yo, I'm gonna do an Island Sanctuary stream. I'm excited. He implies some elements of the island's development will be on a weekly timer, namely cultivating crops. I think this may have already been confirmed in the last live letter, but for further confirmation, housing items cannot be used on the island. The island is not intended as a replacement for housing. Ooh. Instead, it's about developing an uninhabited island. There will be rewards such as mounts for making progress with developing the island. The interviewer asks if mounts can also free roam on the island. Yoshida says, first of all, he wants people to enjoy the free roaming minions, but doesn't rule out the possibility of mounts. You can queue up for the duty finder while on the island. The interviewer jokes this gives people another excuse never to leave. I think Island Sanctuary is going to be pretty lit. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to try it out. I might not go like super hard. You know, the first like day, there's just going to be too much shit to do, but I am definitely going to try it. Okay, so on the relic weapon for the past 2 expansions, these have been tied to the large scale content of Boja and Eureka, but this has both its good and bad sides. This time, since the team are working on a lot of other content for the expansion, it was decided to return to a Realm Reborn Heavensward model of relic weapons. Okay, that might be good. I kind of liked that better than Boja. I wasn't a fan of Boja though. I mean, it's just going to be another, like, more fates and shit, but honestly, it's always fates. It's always fates in some way, shape, or form. In discussions for both the scenario and battle team, it was decided it would be a lot of fun to make Manderville weapons related to Hildy. Looking forward to what happens when Godbert and Geralt stand side by side. There will be a simple progression to the 6.25 quest, and he hopes people can play it casually, like with anima weapons. Okay, so relics are not gonna be anything good again. I don't mind grindy shit. I don't mind. It's just, dude, the relic is so fucking boring, man. If that's your thing, if you like doing this shit, that's fine. I'm not saying that it's bad, okay? I'm just saying it's boring, and I'm allowed to think that it's boring. Let's say that not everyone likes Hildebrand, okay? I'm not really a fan of the Hildebrand questline. I think the quests are fucking horrible, man. I'm just not into that slapstick humor, okay? I just think that there should be an alternative method. Like, I feel like that they should, if they really want people to experience Hildebrand, then that's fine. They put work into these quests so people could do that. But for the people that don't really give a shit, I feel like there should be a more grindy route that has nothing to do with Hildebrand. And I feel like that some people would do that, myself included. Depending on the grind, I don't find it boring. What I do find boring is hitting skip cutscene. But that's not an alternative. Skip the cutscene. That's not an alternative. Unlike in 6.05, they will not be delaying tomes to coincide with Savage, despite the week 1 Savage delay, because they don't want to risk upsetting casual players. Okay. Yeah, true. Tomes will come out a week before Savage with normal. He said they discussed rebalancing the fights because people will have slightly higher item level than usual. Okay, slightly is, I don't think it's going to be slightly, but we'll talk about it in a second. But he was a bit vague about whether they decided to go ahead with that or not. If anyone understands it better, let me know. Yoshi-P acknowledges that this is a huge change and encourages everyone to give feedback on how it feels after experiencing it. You know what? We're going to do this in Paint. So let's do a normal raid group. You get 900 tomes. Weapon upgrade. Whatever. Tomes, whatever, dude. Shut up. You get a twine and an oil. Primal weapon. crafted. So the whole group is going to have a full set of crafted. They're all going to have primal weapons. Let me be clear. The DPS check is only going to be on the final turn. Okay, so this is a normal week 1 raid group. So a group that does splits is going to have 2 weapons, 2 twines, and 2 oils. Do you really think that they tuned this to splits? I don't think so. I don't even think that they're going to tune it for having 450 extra tomes. This guy's right though. MMOs should never design their content around people doing the most degenerate stuff. Look how designing around people doing split runs turned out in WoW. This guy's absolutely right. See, that's what I mean. They're not going to design that about that. Arthur's read the JP interview, and the way Arthur's read it, it will not be tuned. Yeah, exactly. And I expected that. Now, let's watch what Arthur said.
Savage drops later. Is this really the main feedback? That a lot of people wants to do the raid story first for Savage. They want to enjoy the story first and not rush to do Savage. Is that really the main feedback? So it is only
Yeah, it is. The fuck? This guy, man. Does he skip the fucking story, dude?
Bruh.
until the last 6 months, he was actually considering whether, you know, they want to delay it. What type of effect this time have? Okay, first is the item level. Okay, this confirmed that the tome will be released on patch day, not on Savage. So this is one of the fear that I was afraid that might imbalance the Savage, and it's confirmed. You can't, I know you can't read, that's why I'm translating it for you, you idiot. After we clear turn to one of Savage. So this is one of the fear that I was afraid that might imbalance the Savage, and it's confirmed. You can't, I know you can't read, that's why I'm translating it for you, you idiot. After we clear turn 2, one of the DPS is gonna be able to buy a weapon, and then after turn 3 you can get a max minus 5 item level weapon. Okay, so on week 2 we can get 900. This means that we can buy a legs or body. So now he was saying it's the same as the previous raid series. The difficulty should be adjusted based on item level. Like if you release it on week 1 with your crafted gear not available until you finish crafting it, and your weapon, if you haven't finished doing it, they have to take into consideration that players are doing it without any of this gear at the beginning. So they have to tune regarding to item level. That was one of the biggest things that he was thinking about. They need to change it to the item level. He thinks that with this change, your crafted recipe is gonna drop in price. So from a crafter point of view, this 1 week delay is gonna affect crafters the most. So this also confirmed that crafted gear will be out in week 1, which is also one of the things that I'm afraid the most, because that's gonna make Savage turn 1, 2, and 3 too easy. Now it wouldn't affect turn 4, because most people, when we start challenging turn 4, or some of us, even when we start challenging on,
you already have all that shit anyway.
We would already have crafted gear, right? You take a break. Oh guys, let's take a 15 minutes break. You go out, our crafted gears are ready. You re-enter.
The biggest thing will be the weapon. The biggest thing will be the extra tomes. What can you buy with 900 tomes? You can buy literally anything. Okay, the first 3 turns are definitely going to be easier. That's fine. The first 3 turns kind of don't matter anyway, but the 4th turn, now obviously I haven't watched it, but I'm going to guess from what he's going to say is that the 4th turn kind of doesn't matter, because by the time you get to the 4th turn, even without this change, you already have full crafted and arguably a primal weapon. The biggest change will be you will have one person with a fully upgraded pant or chest, and you have one person with a fully upgraded weapon. Those 2 right there are massive. And if you do splits, you'll have double that. But they cannot balance it around 4 mains and 4 alts, because if they balance it around 4 mains and 4 alts, then you're going to turn into a WoW situation. Splits means you run 4 mains and 4 alts, and you get double loot. Let's see what Arthur says.
Enter turn 3, you already got your crafted gear. So for turn 3 and turn 4, it doesn't really matter. Turn 1 and turn 2 is going to be affected the most. Turn 1 and turn 2 is going to be just within half a lockout, maybe at most 1 lockout. Yes, you might still struggle with the mechanic, but because your DPS is going to be so high, you're just going to skip a lot of things. With the 450 to 900 tomes, and with crafted gear ready, and with the primal gear ready, turn 1 and turn 2 is going to be a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Turn 3 is also going to be faster, because most group, you go in with full crafted, no weapons yet, no primal weapons yet, but this time, you're going to be full crafted plus primal weapons.
People do splits regardless.
S-Face as a guy. When you go into turn 3, the very first time, after you clear turn 2, your crafted gear is not ready, you will struggle with the S-Face a little bit. Right? You will die, God, this DPS check is a little bit tight, we need to kill faster, we need to kill better. You know, we have to optimize better. We need to learn the mechanic faster so that we can know where to go for the tackle while hitting the birds.
Based on Arthur's translation, it's pretty much confirmed that they're not going to rebalance. They're in kind of a shitty situation. I feel like that they did not think about gear before they thought about releasing the raid tier a week later. I feel like that they thought about the gear and the tomes after the fact. If they would have thought about the gear and the tomes, one of two things would have happened. Either one, they would have, not cared about pissing off casual players, which would it have really pissed casual players off that much to just be a week behind? I mean, I'm sure some people would be mad, but I don't know. You guys tell me. I mean, I don't think that a lot of people would actually care, but then again, I could be wrong. I don't know if that's a really foolproof excuse. I really feel like that they had this idea from streamers and influencers or, content creators, whatever. And they were like, wow, delaying that seems really cool. That would just seem like everybody would be happy, right? It would just be like at the beginning of an expansion. And then they did it and they were like, oh shit, we forgot about the tomes. We forgot about 2 raid weapons, 2 twines, 2 oils. We forgot about 450 tomes. We forgot about so much shit. I just think they forgot, basically. I just thought that they really wanted people to enjoy the story first, which I like. I think that's cool. I love this new system. And I'm not saying it's bad that you get an extra 450. Actually, who this is going to benefit the most is going to be low DPS world prog groups, because you're going to have a raid weapon now. You won't have to worry about DPS checks. That's what I think.
The bird needs to die. Now you go in with a primal weapon. Everybody. That 10% more adds phase that you couldn't make the first few pulls, that is not going to be a problem anymore. It's going to be free proc. It's going to be fast proc. All these changes, this 1 week delay with all these things released in week 1, this means that turn 1, 2, and 3 is going to be really easy. The only thing that can make turn 1, 2, and 3 hard is the mechanics. I don't know whether turn 1, 2, or 3 mechanics will be hard enough for a player to be gated with all this gear that we're going to have. I'm not sure. So
they could have added in insta kills. Look at the difference between this. You get double the tomes. You get a twine that you can use. You get a fucking weapon. That's a lot. The old raid tier on week 1, you have 450 tomes that you can use. You get a twine, but you can't use it, so I'm not listing it. The oil that you get can be used on an accessory. So you can give your oil to a DPS and they can get an upgraded accessory. You can go farm the primal and you can get crafted weapons, okay? So in the new raid tier, you get 900 tomes because you get 450 for the first week, 450 potential for the second week. Now, I am basing this on a normal week 1 raid group, not a hardcore group, not a world prog group. The world prog group is going to be a bit different because you're not going to have 900 tomes. A world prog group is going to be different, but I'm not basing this shit off of world prog because that is such a small amount of people. Those fucks don't matter, myself included. I don't fucking matter in that metric. They don't give a shit about us and they shouldn't give a shit about us. We're fucking dumb anyway. The people that they should give a shit about, and they do give a shit about, is the mid-core, barely below hardcore. You know what I'm saying? That's the target audience. You know what I mean? That's just the chunk of players that's focused on the raid tier. I'm not saying they don't care about casual players. That's not what I'm saying at all. So don't misunderstand me. A normal week 1 raid group will have access to 900 tomes. This week 1 raid group is going to clear, I don't know, maybe Saturday, Sunday, maybe last minute Monday. Who knows? They're going to have 900 tomes because when it's not raid time, they're going to be capping their tomes because they're not going to raid 16 hours a fucking day. They're only going to raid 4 or 5, something like that. So they're going to have access to 900 tomes. They will get the weapon upgrade. They're going to get the weapon upgrade from turn 6 or whatever, and then they're going to get another upgrade material in turn 7. They will have a twine. They will be able to use this twine because the person that does not get the upgrade, they're going to get the twine. They can upgrade their chest piece or their pants, and that's going to be better than getting a helmet, glove, boot, or 2 accessories. The oil that they get, whoever they don't give the weapon upgrade in the twine to, they give the oil to another DPS. Well, that DPS can fully upgrade an accessory, which is going to be BIS. The entire raid group is going to have access to primal weapons because the primal's coming out the first week. The entire raid group will have access to crafted gear because crafted gear is coming out the first week. Splits doesn't matter because only degenerates do that shit. So we're just going to take that out. Now, look at the comparison here. Look at this. This is massive. I don't think it's going to change much for World Prog. The only thing that's going to change is lower DPS World Prog groups. They're going to have an advantage. I don't think it actually changes that much. Am I worried about being too easy? No, absolutely not. Even with this new gear, if the mechanics are hard. So like, let's say there's a Hello World. Okay, well, Hello World took a little bit to figure out. Well, if there's a Hello World mechanic, all the gear in the world isn't going to help you because you're just going to instantly die. Okay, I do think that the raid tier will be slightly easier, but I don't think it'll be easier enough to be like a bummer. It might make week 2 groups week 1, which I mean, that would be kind of cool because I know there's some people out there that want to kill the raid tier the first week and they just haven't been able to do it, and this will definitely help them. I don't think this is going to make the raid tier super easy.
You know what? I'm just thinking about this now.
I think this raid tier is going to shit on people just based on the responses I got from you guys today, based on Arthur's response. I think this raid tier is going to shit on people, and you know why? Because I think they're going to go in with a cocky attitude. Yeah, head held high. Oh, I'm too good for this raid tier. I got my tome weapon. I got my extra 450 tomes. And I think this raid tier is going to fucking spread its cheeks and take a big old dump all over a bunch of raid groups. I think that this is going to be like Shiva all over again. If Final Fantasy XIV players are good at one thing, it's good at being cocky. I think that this new formula, hopefully it sticks. I have 2 different mindsets. I have the selfish mindset, and then I have the mindset that I think is good for the community. My selfish mindset, I love DPS checks because DPS checks mean that you not only have to play well, but you have to know your job well too. But I'm a sweaty raider. I understand that's not good for the health of the game. Like, I enjoy optimizing my damage. I enjoy getting that last GCD. That is very satisfying to me. So that's my selfish side. What I think is good for the community side, I think this is the system that they should go with because this pretty much eliminates all DPS checks so they can focus on making mechanics harder, because I feel like P4 was pretty fucking goddamn easy. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see though, because they've never done something like this. So, you know, I've been thinking about it a lot. It's definitely going to be interesting to see, but I think it'll be okay.
Oh, shit. Yo.
Yo, you've been watching the streams, haven't you? Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. Don't you lie to me. Don't you lie to me. You've been watching them streams, haven't you?
You watched my video, didn't you? You watched my video and you were like, damn, that's a nice UI, brother. Where'd you get that UI, brother?
You watched that shit, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Don't you lie to me. Don't you fucking lie to me.
Anyway, that's it. That's it.